All right. Well, looks like unfortunately we're talking about something that I don't know, like if a lot of people just don't want to mention it, or if it's like in the back of a lot of pros' minds, or what's been going on lately. But um, I'm here again today with Spoonman. Let me make sure the sound and everything is good. Okay, awesome. So say hi, Spoonman, if you're here.
Hello.
Yeah, what's up? So he's back, and he kind of shared recently. He shared something that I've been thinking myself. It's kind of funny because I think sometimes we forget. I don't know, Spoon, did you play MK9 or MKX at all?
Hmm, I played MKX, but it wasn't like on a really thinking man's level. It was more of a I thought that this was kind of fun and I really liked the violence of it. But as far as like learning how to play it, no.
Okay,
But I
okay.
did play it and I did watch pros play it. and okay, so to actually put it into perspective and to bring it back, like in retrospect, especially having played it a little bit and like knowing what MK11 is, I absolutely appreciate like the skill that MKX players really had, and what they had to deal with defensively. Um, does that make sense? Right. So like I
Yeah,
wasn't really a
yeah.
player of it, but like I watched it, and then like in learning how to play MK11, I revisited some MKX tournaments and like looked at like what was going on and like how ridiculous it was compared to MK11.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, I'm probably just a slightly, like a little bit more, would be the right word, like a little bit more, not in depth is not the right word. I can't think of the word, but basically I played MKX probably a little bit more than you did, and I would say, I mean, for starters, I don't think. Okay, well, something.
Well, don't be modest, dude. Like, you've talked to me specifically about MKX things, like, and a lot of things that went on in that game, and I'm not gonna pretend to know those, dude. I didn't play the game like that. I just really fell in love with MK11 and like watched MKX Pro tournaments while MKX was happening, while at the same time not really learning the game. But you learned that game, and I would imagine you also learned Injustice 2, right?
Yeah, I've learned all of them. The only one that I didn't learn in depth was MK9. I learned mostly about MK9 probably maybe like once MKX came out, I started to kind of understand MK9 a little bit more. I mean, before I was just kind of pressing buttons. KP's
That's
actually I was kind of I was like KP before he entered the tourney scene. That's the best way to put it, because he's talked about it how like he used to play MK9 and he'd whoop everyone's asses, but he didn't know shit about frame data or anything like that.
damn.
Um,
KP was like that.
yeah, but that's how you are when you, I mean, at least for me, that's how most players I've seen, that's how they start their fighting game
That's how I
uh
was in MKX, dude. I just
competition.
really like Melina, and then I saw that Raiden could do a shitload of damage, and I was like, Raiden seems pretty good too.
Yeah.
And so I played those two characters in MKX. Um,
Yeah,
did,
that's
did I learn anything? No, I learned that if my opponent blocks wrong, then I get 40% damage with Raiden. That's what I learned.
yeah, yeah.
And it's on the first hit too, by the way. So Raiden was like the Sub Zero, or I guess every character was like the Sub.
A
I don't
lot
know.
of them were.
MKX was
Yeah, a lot of them were.
MKX was a. I would have not really liked learning more and more about that game, honestly. I really liked watching the pros play it though, because it was just impressed with like
Well, that's how I feel about
how
MK11.
good they were at it. With having no aspiration to be good at it myself. MK11, I feel, is a lot more approachable for a casual player. And actually, let me just go on a tangent here, dude. Mr. Aquaman,
Hey, what's up,
last night
Melina Prime?
just went on a tangent. I'm sorry.
Oh, some remember we're live streaming this one, so someone's in the chat, Melina Prime. Nice to see you in the chat, Melina Prime. We're just talking about, well, we're gonna segue into that, but we'll be talking about today just how every character basically has some nonsense in this game. We kind of went on a tangent a little bit talking about MKX because MKX is what started that. I would
Yo,
argue.
that's a perfect segue into what's broken in MK11, by the way. Let me tell you.
Yeah, MKX definitely it definitely kind of it started the okay, you can't deal with this, fuck you, like kind of cuz there were characters in MK9 that weren't like that. Like they didn't have their like there were characters that had their BS that you had to deal with. And there were a good amount of them, but I would say there were some characters where it didn't feel like the matchup didn't feel ridiculous, and I think MKX ultimately started that idea that oh no, dude, you just gotta hold this shit. Like you gotta hold it. You can't do nothing about it, um, or anything about it.
Oh
And
well, watch if you
uh-oh, you're cutting out. Hold on.
watched any professional player play a Cyborg Smoke, dude, it seemed like the person was blocking forever, but that was also MK9 Cyrax. Literally, the dude had a reset, and I think if you blocked wrong, you took like 90% damage. Like you had to block wrong one time, and I think you took 90% damage off of Cyrax in MK9. Like so, like if we're gonna talk about like real bullshit, like I don't think that real bullshit exists in MKX. Excuse me, MK11.
Well,
I think that there is real bullshit, but you're not gonna get 90% damage off of it.
yeah. Well, the thing is, MK11 toned down everything. I mean, that's pretty much what happened. I don't know if it's the developers. They just kind of want to take a new approach. I've been hearing a lot about realism with MK11. That's what the developers have said. Oh, we're looking for realism. All this stuff. So I'm wondering if they're just trying to tone down the craziness overall. The
The
only
F did
problem is
they
that's
mean by
promoted.
realism, dude?
Well, the only problem is they've in the process of toning everything down, they've made it to where your opponent can disrespect you and do like it's much harder to condition your opponent. I've noticed that. And if you are conditioning them, it's usually like something like really over the top that you can't really deal with. Um, Like for instance, Katana's jump 2 comes to mind just because I play Katana. What's up AJ? Who's in the Discord with me? Spoonman is in the Discord with me. We kind of got off tangent again, but originally, well, we're kind of segueing into it, but the podcast was talking about just how basically every character has their BS. Cetrion might be top 1, and this is kind of where we're taking this, but Cetrion might be top 1, but don't act like there's not other characters that don't have bullshit. Like that's the one thing that kind of frustrates me in this game is like, you've got character like people complain about Shiva, right? Because I think you play Shiva. But then you've got Sub-Zero doing 50-50s that lead to like 40 damage or
Full combos,
400
yeah, bro.
damage.
Like either one of them
Like
does full combos. Like other characters have 50-50s, but it's like, maybe it's like a hit that gets you 100 damage or something, right? Sub Zero gets full combos off his 50. So they're like for real, like MKX 50-50s.
exactly. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, AJ. I mean, that's pretty much where we're going with this because you've got you've got Shiva doing her fireballs, you've got Sub-Zero doing his 50-50 mix-ups, you've got Cetrion resetting the neutral every single time she presses a button. You've got Katana doing jump 2s that are almost impossible to anti-air. You've got Noob Saibot having a safe slide that he can end any of his strings in, make his 9-frame mid completely safe, and if it hits, do 200 damage. You've got Noob Saibot doing what 500 damage fatal blows.
great.
You've
All right.
got what else am I
All right.
missing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's a
It's
lot
like all over the
there's a lot to
place. I don't get why come
yeah,
people playing all the time. Yeah, yeah,
there's a lot to unpack there. For the record, Noob Saibot's Shadow Slide is totally fine because it costs him a meter to be safe, right? Cetrion's Tornado is basically safe, unless uh the mechanics to like flawless block where it's unsafe, right?
yeah. Well, I'm
So
not saying
like
they're on the same level. I'm just saying that like every character has their like abusable thing that's frustrating to deal with. That's probably the easiest way to say. That's
yes,
probably a
yes,
better
yes,
way
yes.
to
Okay,
say it.
that's what I was saying. And also I wanted to
Most
preface this
characters
by
on the
saying
roster
that
have some.
this is coming from me who got really frustrated with somebody who sent me a conversation on Steam. Well, actually, I actually messaged them
What's up, Alex is
after we had a
nasty.
match on in Combat League, and I messaged him because he was my friend, and I was like, "Bro, can you just not jump every time that it's not your turn? Can you not jump?" And he said, "Fuck off, GGs." And I was like, "Bro, dude, that I'm just trying to help you."
Well,
And he said, and he told me in retrospect, "You play a zoner, don't act like you're skilled." And I was like, "All right." So first of all, you did jump every time, and I'm playing Cetrion, but I'm playing Tornado Cetrion. Is Tornado Cetrion a zoner? I don't think she is a full zoner. I think she's a hybrid character. And Tornado makes Cetrion extremely, extremely good at rushdown, by the way. Do not be fooled. If you're playing against a Cetrion with Tornado, she's going to rush you down because she has the Tornado.
yeah.
Anyway, so I'd hit this guy with Tornado, or I'd hit him with Rock Wall, and he would jump. A Devora player wants to jump a lot. That's fine. But this dude would do it every single time, so I'd like whooped his ass. And I sent him a message, and I was like, "Dude, you did." I couldn't mix him up because he jumped every time. Like there was no throw, there was no guessing wake up roll, there was no guessing anything. He just jumped. So he
Honestly,
like hit me a couple of times,
honestly, I'd
and
just take my win, and I don't know. Like, I thought you lost. I was like, what the
no, no,
fuck?
no, no, no. I won. But
uh,
like he got so mad. Like fuck off. You play a zoner. Don't act like you're super skilled. I was like, all right. So that's what got me thinking. I didn't zone him at all. He's Devourer. He has a teleport, right? He can full
yeah.
combo me if I zone him. I'm not zoning him. Like it's like me trying to zone out a Scorpion. Why would I do that? And that got me thinking. Like, wait, why do you think my character is bullshit when your character is total bullshit too? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Let's catch up with the chat. So, Alex Nasty says, "Yo, what's up? What's up, Alex is nasty? How's it going?" Um, Otaku AJ, or sorry,
Cetrion has more
AJ
bullshit.
says, "No, no, it's a bad thing on it. Not that it's a bad thing, honestly. I think that's what he's trying to say. But people complain about what the devs wanted. I agree with you, AJ. I would say that it's always been like that in MK. Every character has always had some sort of BS that you just had to hold. In MKX it was Ermax push, and in MKX it was Scorpion's restand that was 40% for 1 bar, plus 18 restand. He had like crazy offense with
MKX
his
had
fireball
plus 18
cancels.
restands.
Yeah, on hit, yeah. I actually
Wow,
still
dude.
remember the combo too. And then Alex's Nazi says Centurion has no bullshit spoon. I agree with that, Alex, but that's no reason. That's literally no reason to
This is
complain
true.
because
Cetrion does have like a
because
high amount of bullshit. So
the
do all the
big
top
whole
tiers.
point, yeah, the big whole point that we're trying to make here is that every character has like something. Like, trust me, like I'm a hybrid zoner. The last thing I want to deal with is Jackie jumping at me from full screen. Like, I'm just like no cap, like straight up, like I just like literally half my tools are gone playing against Jackie. I picked up Cetrion. Yeah, Cetrion's strong, I agree. Um
Cetrion's Cetrion is really, really,
Stronger than
really
Jackie.
good. And Alex, I know you said like Cetrion's easy. I don't know if you like meant her neutral is easy or that her execution is like pretty damn easy, dude. Um, The only reason that I went with Tornado Cetrion is because I started facing players who were actually good. Execution and neutral are super easy with Cetrion. Yeah. Yeah, they are. Execution with Jackie is hard. Dude, like those combos with upgraded are not easy. It takes a lot. Dude, it made my hands tired going to the lab with upgraded Jackie, dude. It was hard.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that she's still like that she's bullshit.
Or she's not. Well, it's more like the big issue that the other big issue that I have is that I think sometimes like when people think like execution or like this character like a good example, I think Johnny's a better example. Um People will say Johnny like you really have to know footsies if you play Johnny,
No,
therefore you're
you
really
don't, dude.
skillful.
Johnny has the best footsies in the damn
But
game, dude.
no, but that's my
You
point
actually
is
have
like
to
they
know
say you
footsies
get
the
blown up.
least if you play Johnny.
Well, they were saying that um when you play Johnny, if you don't know how to play footsies, Johnny, you can't play Johnny. That's what they're saying. They're saying like if you don't know how to whiff punish
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
don't know how to
Fucking fucking casuals, dude. But I feel like that's what this whole conversation is going to be about. Let me just address what Alex is nasty is saying. Rockwall shouldn't be close and far. Just make it close. Alex is nasty. How do you think about this proposition, bro? How about close Rockwall is 12 frames and far
Let
Rockwall
me
is
turn
like
it down
17 or
just a
18
little bit.
frames? What do you think about that? Like maybe the far Rockwall shouldn't be 12 frames. What do you think? Like,
Oh,
how does
change.
that sound to you?
No, that's a little too low. Change the frameage maybe. Be
The
hard to
startup
flawless.
frames, make it if it comes out farther away, just make the startup frames more and make the flawless block gap the same. You still think that's OP?
I don't know what. I. It's a bigger mind game.
It's a bigger mind game up close. Oh well, then you might have to mess with the hitbox up close. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, I don't. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
know.
You're right. My bad. I didn't think about that.
I don't know. See, that's kind of the funny thing. Like we as players, like sometimes we think we have the solution, and then like like the thing I've noticed is like when I give a solution, another player will tell me, well, this, and I'll be like, oh shit, like that actually would
Yeah.
work,
Well.
which
All
is
right.
kind of
All right. All
surprising
right.
because it makes me
So
think,
what would you change about Rockwall then? Because Rockwall is really good. Rockwall prevents you from flawless
and
blocking the
that's
tornado.
my
By the way.
point. That's my point, Spoonman. My point is like, I think we as players sometimes like we think like we might be able to change it, but maybe the developers actually might know better, you know. One third of active frames taken away and just close rock wall. So you mean remove the far rock wall?
Remove far Rockwall, and it's 17 active frames. So you're talking about taking it down to about 12, right? So 12 active frames. Uh, oh, you know why I think they made it have so many active frames? Because it's meant to eat projectiles for
Yeah,
that crushing blow. I think that's why they gave it 17. Um,
time it better. Such a good move. Yeah,
the
rock wall is
far
pretty strong.
the far Rockwall.
It really is just the
Dude,
fact that it doesn't
the
have a
far
hitbox.
Rockwall would be a if you took that away from her, that'd be such a huge goddamn nerf. I would say if you take anything away from her, take the close Rockwall away and make it only be far.
Honestly,
But you
Alex,
don't.
like the more and more you make me think about it, the more and more you convince me like rock wall's really hard to deal with because like at this point, me as a katana player, I just eat the projectile one, like the one where it eats your projectile and they get a crushing blow. I just go ahead and take it because I know I'm gonna deal with it at one point or another in the match. So I just throw a projectile and then if it eats it and I get crushing blow, I get crushing blow. It's
I
whatever.
don't.
It's
I
like a
dude. I
throw.
play
Like
veteran all
if
the
you tech
time.
throws, you're just gonna basically eat the wrong tech. Like if they have a crushing blow throw, you're gonna take the crushing blow throw. Like you have to avoid all those throws. Like you can't just get thrown constantly because you don't want to tech a crushing blow throw. So it's kind of the same thing with like Cetrion. Like if I throw a projectile and like the rock wall just eats the projectile, I'm just like, well, it would have eaten one at some point because I've got to deal with her backdashing and I've got to throw a projectile so I can take my turn. I can't just sit here and block all day, you know. So the more and more you kind of talk, Alex, you actually kind of make me think that like if there's a character that like when they hit you with something, you know that you're gonna get hit by it at some point, so you might as well just eat the cost. Um,
Oh, that's the
that
same
means
thing
that
you said
move is
about
really
Toxic
powerful.
Grandpa. What he said about eating a down two crushing blow because he throws so much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's kind of like that. Like, yeah, to enforce your throws in this game, like you have to eat down two crushing blows. It's just how it is. Like people think they're calling you out hard when they do a down two not really. Like that's just how you have to condition them with throws with certain characters. You have to what's the right word? Like you have to like expect to get down two crushing blow because like some characters that's the only way you can get people to stop just holding them. Like that's the one thing that frustrates me in this game. Like a lot of players complain about like crushing blow throws and stuff, but like the real problem is like there's not enough crushing blow throws because there's some characters you could just block all day and like 13% that's it. Like that's all you take is 13, and like people get comfortable holding the block button. Like Katana is definitely an example of that. They just get comfortable holding the block button and jumping. Like there's nothing you can do about it. Like you have to throw them to stop them from constantly blocking you. But yeah, so yeah, it's just like that. Yeah, certain things like you just have to like in a match, you just have to be like, yeah, I'm if I'm playing this character, I have to concede to these specific things. Like if you're throw heavy, if you're the character that has to throw a lot to open people up, you just gotta expect down two crushing blows. If you're playing against Cetrion and the only way to stop her from backdashing is to throw projectiles, you just have to expect the rock wall, crushing blow. If you're getting thrown a lot and you need to tech and you're playing against someone with a crushing blow throw, you just have to get the crushing blow throw, or hit by the crushing blow throw. That's just how it is, like
Yeah,
with certain things.
I think you've made that point. Alex is nasty has said like there's a couple of things that are like really strong. Well, he's talking more about Cetrion being top one, which I didn't even mean for this pod. Like, so yeah, Cetrion has bullshit, dude. Hell's Wrath is super plus, but it pushes you super far away. You only end a combo with Hell's Wrath, which is her fire laser. You end
Yeah.
the combo with Hell's Wrath if you're in the corner, and I think it might even be plus 18. Uh, the Rock Wall, I think ending a combo with leaving an opponent standing with Rockwall and you're plus 15 at like you're just under jumping distance, by the way. Yeah, in the dude, everybody's stronger in the corner. All right, relax. Everybody's stronger in the corner. Everybody gets free pressure in the corner.
Yeah, Katana gets free pressure in the corner, Alex. That's
Like
not the
it's
best
cool.
argument
Like
in the
don't
world.
get mad about that. Like your character, like Jackie does 350 unbreakable damage, and Cetrion does 220 unbreakable damage. Like, there's a difference here, understand? Bro, like, everybody gets stronger in the corner. Like, definitely Cetrion's really strong, but, like, let's chill, dude. I got flamed. All right, well, let me finish that thought.
Okay.
You could perhaps you could nerf Rockwall in one of two ways. You could take away the far version, that's fine. That would definitely be like a hard nerf too. But it would catch you in surprising ways too. Also, you could nerf the Rockwall in its hit advantage, but I don't think you would want to nerf both. Well, maybe people who play against Cetrion would want to nerf both, but like if you nerf both, like it's gonna really kill that move. And that is like literally her best move. It's been her best move since inception. So and not rely on it as much, bro. It's her best move. Like you rely on a character's best move. Like 2-1 back, bro. You use a character's moves that they have. Like, all right, bro. Like, yeah, nerf Jackie's forward three. Nerf her best tool. Like, do that. I'm sorry. Alex is nasty. So for the audio, Alex is nasty is saying nerf Cetrion's 2-1 backdash or nerf her 1-1 backdash or nerf teleport backdash. Sure, nerf anything that Cetrion can do. That's fine. That's fine, dude. Nerf anything that your character can do,
Cabal, good
dude.
ass back one. Yeah. Yeah. See, the thing is, I'm okay. So when I okay, so something I've learned as someone who plays fighting games and has played a lot of competitive or at least watched a lot of competitive games is you want to be as neutral as you can about these things because it's very easy for you to look at a certain character and be like, okay, well that character is busted. Nerf, 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 nerf. But you have to remember that there's other players that play this character, and maybe they fell in love with just the character's playstyle, or maybe the character's lore, or like maybe they just I don't know, like maybe they just like the character, and they just want to play the character until the cycle of that specific game is over. So me as a player who I've played the probably one of the worst or not worst, just worse in MK11's standpoint. But I played one of the most honest characters since release, Fanfare Katana. I can see like as my character has continued to get buffed, um, how I would hate for my character to get overbuffed and people want to nerf her, right? So kind of going back to this whole point, that's why like when like no offense to you, Alex, but when you say like, okay, well, Cetrion's broke, like this is nonsense, like she's top one, she's got all these tools. I literally can look at like a bunch of other characters and say the same thing. So it's like, she ain't broke. Okay, sorry, I took you out of context. I apologize for that. But yeah, like I'm just the point that I'm trying to make is like I try to like I like actually try to stand on the fence because I know like I could say like, okay, well, Jackie's got her forward three that literally it's -2, so I can't poke her back. Like legit, like Jackie, I cannot poke her back. My down three, I'll show you right now. My down three will whiff. My down one is 9 frames. So you'll trade with me with your next forward three. No, not forward three. You're down
Wait,
one.
her
Sorry.
forward three makes your down three whiff?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I have to
that's rough.
backdash or flawless block or jump. Yeah. Um, yeah, you're just giving solutions. Yeah, which is a good thing, Alex. I think that's a good thing to do. Um, Especially if you play the character. I think that's a good route to take to be like, okay, well, maybe my character's too good, or maybe, I play this character, I think these tools are strong.
I say
We could
I
try
say
to
buff the
see.
character who aren't as good. Dude,
That's
I
another
just want to I
solution.
just want to see Baraka in top eights, dude.
That's another solution.
Like
Um,
fuck like nerfing the bullshit that the characters have. Give every character bullshit, dude. Like Scarlet, dude, I love Scarlet, dude. Her animations are awesome. Her active frames are great. She has so much, dude. Although, nah, I won't say. She has so much, but like I've only seen her in like one top eight ever.
yeah,
And it bums me out,
is a
dude. Like,
trick.
don't nerf the top. Don't nerf the top, dude. Buff the bottom.
So let's go back. Let's go back with the chat really quick, because I don't want to forget AJ. But AJ was talking about Cabal's back one, not talking about nerf just as a good move. Yeah, we need more moves like that, AJ, where the move is really good, but it doesn't seem like it's oppressive. Like Cabal, when I play against Cabal players, I don't feel like I'm getting overwhelmed. Granted, he's very good.
Really?
Yeah,
Dude, Jesus, dude. I
I
feel
don't feel
like
like
a
I'm
good
overwhelmed.
Cabal player can keep me locked down and I can't do anything about it, man.
Well, he can keep you locked down. It's just you have to read your opponent. It's not Cabal doesn't have like, okay, this is the best way I can put it. Cabal doesn't have a move that literally has no hurt box. So like if you make the right read, you can
Wait, are you
blow him up
serious?
for
What
it.
is his jump to? Can you hit his
Hit
sword out of the air?
because the strings are plus, it makes you feel like that. Yeah. Well, actually, AJ, I think it's the other way around if I recall correctly. His strings are slightly minus, so it makes it
They're
feel like.
minus a lot of his strings are like -2 though. So
Yeah,
he's
they're
always
slightly
down
minus.
ones
Yeah. So it's
afterwards.
a
Like
it's a
Cabal
fit
will
it's a trick it's what do you call it? They did this in MKX where there or Quan Chi was a good example. Like all of his strings were slightly minus, so he could still press. So you had to read like cuz sometimes you can stagger with that was the mistake that I made when I started playing this game, but sometimes you can stagger with slightly minus strings and it's almost like you're using plus frames because your opponent doesn't know if you're going to down one or just block after and then take your turn again. So, but yeah, he does have though, if I remember correctly, AJ, he has forward four, right? Or is it not forward four? Is it standing four? Is standing four? It's +4, but I think that's it. He or one is this 1 plus? I have to look in the lab real quick.
I don't think 1-1 is plus.
Is it not plus? Okay, it might just be slightly minus then. But okay, let's go back in the chat real quick. Because I did miss some Nexus stuff. So Nexus was saying perfect timing. I just got McDonald's, nice. He was saying also she's broke along with many other characters. Nexus, I want to see you back up that claim. If you say that, back it up. Give us some character names. um, and then Alex is nasty says she's strong as fuck. Jackie ain't broke. She's strong as fuck. Both have tools that could be adjusted. I'm giving realistic solutions without gutting. Then it'll be a who gets their OP tools first. Well, yeah, it always comes back to what did Tom Brady used to say? He said I'm gonna mix, 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 mix. Your mix, I'm gonna mix, mix, mix. Oh, that's your mix. Your mix broke. Your mix gotta go, but my mix can stay. He used to say that all the time.
Is that about like his characters that he played versus characters that he
Yeah,
would play
versus other
against?
characters. Yeah. Cetrion, Jackie, Lou, Joker, Johnny, Fujin. See, when I
um,
compare those characters to like MKX, MK9, like they don't have anything on it. Like I can still beat a Cetrion. I can still beat a Jackie. I can still beat Lou, Joker, Johnny, Fujin. He's slightly minus, but he's yeah, he's Cabal is he dude,
Cabal
like
broke as
you're
fuck
not
because he's
punished.
slightly minus with no flawless block
The
gaps
the only
and
way you're gonna
huge range mids, dude. He has jumping distance mids, and also he has a jump too that
yeah,
reaches from 3/4 screen, and also he has a super jump. Like, come on,
he's not
bro.
broke, he's just jet. Yeah, I agree. I agree, AJ. I played a little bit of Cabal. He's
I
not
do
broke.
agree.
You have to find
I don't think
where to
that
get him.
anybody in this game is broken. I think that some characters need some help. Shao Kahn, Scarlet, and Baraka are the first people that come to mind, dude.
What the fuck?
Everybody in this game has some BS, and
Poor
I
Shao
think that
sucks,
those
yeah.
characters don't have enough BS going for them. Bro, Alex, if you look at my combat card, you'll see that
When I lose to
I
Shao, I
am
tip my hat.
still I still have the most games ever played on Shao Kahn. Still.
Yeah,
Uh
Nexus, I would just say like compared to other fighting like NRS fighting games that I played, I don't feel like I'm like when I lose to your Fujin, I'm just like, dude, I just need to use back two more, jump more. When I lose to Setcheron, I'm just like, okay, I need to throw more fans and just eat that
bro,
crushing blow. Like,
man, you gotta just
oh, thanks
love
for the host,
Sha-
kill streak.
you gotta just love Shao Kahn's animations, dude. I actually like the main reason that I love Shao Kahn at the beginning is because of his annihilation special move, the animation for that. Where he like
Nice
slams your head
streak.
on the ground
You
and then like
guys.
smashes your head into the ground
Behave.
again, dude.
Behave, Nexus. What's
Uh,
up, Killstreak? How's it going? Yeah, we're just talking about
bro,
how every character. Yeah, you play Jade, right? So Delia's dance. Let's talk about that. I'm just messing with you, but like we're just talking about how basically every character has some sort of BS. Some maybe more than others, but let's face it, like, and it's been like that since the beginning of MK, like NRS MK games. Like every character has some type of BS. Delia, just get good. Yeah. Why is Twitch acting like ass today? Oh, are you having issues with the video, Yetski?
no. Actually, Twitch has been having problems today.
Yeah, you can always I also restream through YouTube and DLive, so you can always check out YouTube if you're missing some of the stream. Every character does have their BS. Yeah, people get salty all the time because I don't respect their plus frames. LOL. Yeah, AJ, we're actually gonna talk not in this podcast in depth, but we're actually gonna talk about that too. Yeah, disrespecting plus frames is big in this game because there's not enough hit advantage. If you go back and you play MKX, a lot of the moves were like plus 10, plus 15 on hit. Um, and then the plus frames from on block were like plus two, plus five, but then you had the block stun of the down ones. So it was much easier to get plus frames, especially with the mids too. I actually forgot about that. So the mids were like 10 frame mids, 11 frame mids. So like when you got like plus two or something, you were throwing out an 8 frame mid you know it was easier to throw out like really high damaging threats because you didn't have to down one to start your turn. Like it wasn't like, oh, I got plus five, now I get a down one, or oh, I got plus two, now I get a guaranteed down one. Which, by the way, in online it's even worse because in online, if you do like Sub Zero's forward four and then you try to down one, Sub Zero's down one so stubby, if you don't time it right, they can jump out, they get hit, and then they get knocked down. So they get the wake up system. It's the most hilarious thing. It's like because they disrespected your plus frames, they get rewarded. Um, but I'm not gonna go into too much detail about that today. Thing thing is, not a lot of characters have plus to secure a fast mid or high. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they don't
Well,
poke
that
low
was
poke.
what
You
they
can
tried
mash.
to
Yeah.
fix with the last patch, which is where they tried to make your down one like more plus. Well, your low pokes more plus on hit, and also have more recovery. So they tried to fix that with the last patch,
Yeah, but
or at
that's
least
not.
address the issue because they know that motherfuckers were complaining about that. So like you're down one, especially Shao Kahn's down four, which pushes you away, jails into a standing one, but you have to forward dash into it. So like they tried to fix it. They fixed recovery on a lot of the low pokes. But I'm still getting mashed on. However, I will say I can definitely check mashers a lot more frequently now that that patch went through. The most recent one,
Yeah, I don't.
MK11 Ultimate.
I personally don't
You
think
can't
it's
you can't
enough
mash
though.
on Cetrion. Uh, I unless she does tornado on hit.
Which is hilarious. Tornado, like a move on hit, fucking rewards you for mashing. That's the most hilarious thing to hear. Like, that's
Dude, you can
crazy.
disrespect Tornado, but Cetrion can still get away with a back three, which is a 10 frame low. So like Alex, bro, like yeah, you can disrespect it, but eh.
There's a lot of characters that have moves to stop mashing. AJ, back up your claim. Back
Oh, dude,
up
there
your
are a lot
claim.
of
I
characters.
know, I know,
Jackie,
I know, but I just
Jackie,
want to hear what he.
Jax,
I just want to hear what he
Kang.
has.
Hold on,
I know,
let's
Spoon
list some
Man.
more of the mid base characters.
Spoonman, I know. I just want to like the thing is, I want him to tell me who the characters are, just so like
But
you should
anyway,
always give some info.
tornado on hit, yeah, dude, I get mashed like I'm MFer, bro. But dude, back three tornado, back three tornado. That's what I do in Combat League to deal with mashers. And if I'm playing against people who actually like respect the plus frames, then like I'll run up and like
My dude, day
I'll
two
try to
Cetron
shimmy them
OP.
with forward dash and then forward two. And like the sometimes they'll respect and sometimes I'll get down one, you know, but that's a shimmy though. That's how it should be. I'm trying to shimmy somebody, sometimes you're gonna get down one, right?
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and go at a few things. So first thing, Yetsky says my day two Cetron OP. Yeah, that's that. I mean, Cetron
Dude,
seems like.
everybody's Cetrion is OP.
And then AJ says there's a lot. Yeah, okay, so we talked about that. A lot of characters stop gnashing. There are though. Yeah, no, I'm not saying. AJ, when I say back up your sources, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that there aren't characters that do. I just like to hear what people have to say. So when they kind of they leave like a broad statement, I always say that, you know. And then next it says, "Oh, can you meet?" Yeah, Spoonman, can you talk just a little bit lower? Sorry, a little bit lower. Just so then
Here,
that way
I'll
they
move
can
my
kind of
mic
hear
over to
between me.
here.
And then Alex is nasty says, "I know Spoon, but if you think they if you think they will mash after NATO on hit, just backdash rock wall." Yeah, Alex is nasty. So Katana's throws are a good example of that. I treat those throws, even though they're plus five from a long range. She throws you pretty far away from her. So I just act as if she reset the neutral. I act as if it's plus zero because it might as well be. I don't get anything guaranteed. So maybe Cetrion players should view it that way. I mean, this is, as we call it on the Steam Discord, Monkey Combat 11. So, um, yeah, maybe Cetrion players should just treat like moves on hit as if they're zero on hit. If you read your opponent with Cetrion right, you'll never lose your turn. That is true. Noob has slide. That is also true. Noob does have a very good way to check craziness. Um, that's a joke. 11 before Cabal hook slam. Yeah, he has that too. I feel you, bro. Um, next is LOL. And yeah, I think we're caught up. I do NATO on hit when I want mind game up close and get more damage. If not, rock wall on hit's always better. Okay.
Rockwall on hit is all yeah, a Rockwall on hit is always better. NATO on hit is usually what I do when I'm like looking for a throw or looking to like really mess with them. But yeah, um, I'm sorry. I was trying to
That's all good.
trying to speak less loudly to offend your audience.
So, what else did I want to talk about? It's actually kind of
No,
funny because some of the lower tier characters I've noticed, they sorry, like they have abusable shit too. Like Devora's jump one comes to mind. A Katana's jump two comes to mind. Like it's just weird. Like trust me, don't get me wrong. Like there's clearly a top tier in this game. Like I'm not gonna act like there isn't, but it's just one of those things. Like it surprises me when people say that. Like
well,
they say,
it seems to me that it's very obvious that having really good mids makes you a good character because you stop the mashing meta, right? Like people mashing on you gets countered by people with like why isn't Sonya in a bunch of top eights? Because you just mash on her and she can't get her
I'm
strongest
not
strings off.
running games in the background. Yeah, AJ, I just decided. I mean, unless I'm gonna go into a random cough and just like I don't know, uh, what do you call it? Go AFK. I it's actually
I
better for
mean,
me to talk in the podcast and then just not be playing. I could go
yeah, I
into
was gonna
training
say
mode and like go over certain things, but that's like the big thing. Like I could just go
if you want to
into
stop if you want to stop the podcast, you can definitely go into games. That's totally fine. But like literally, what I'm saying is that like oh well, going back to the original point is that like because this game is so mash heavy and so disrespect heavy, that's what makes like fast mids so good, right? If the
yeah.
game had more plus frames and like more ways to reinforce your pressure or to enforce like properly enforce your pressure, then mids wouldn't matter as much. Then Jackie wouldn't matter as much, dude. She wouldn't be so oppressive because like Cetrion could land a down three or she could land a string and enforce a high. And then why would having a mid matter? So
Well,
like the game is I think is built around an idea, right? And we're just like all working around that idea that like characters that don't have mids are weaker for sure. You have to have like more space control, but like Johnny is still really good. But oh well, obviously if you don't know how to play against Johnny, you don't have footsies. Is the thing you said earlier today, right?
yeah. Well,
It's
no.
like
If you don't know how to play Johnny, it's because you don't have footsies.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think Johnny is strictly footsies based, but characters that have mids, you don't have to have footsies because you can just enforce your pressure without spacing it. You just know what the frames are, and you're just like, bitch, my move's coming out. You can't poke out of it.
Cage wouldn't be
Here
good
we
if his
go.
down four wasn't so plus. Yeah. What? Yeski, you
You
said
know?
what? But what do you mean by what? Are you talking about not having mids? Because I actually have a thing to say about that, but um,
Yeah,
we'll go.
go
Um,
ahead and get into it.
so let me
Down four wasn't so plus. I think that Johnny's down four should be so plus because of the range that he plays at and the startup speed of his forward three and back three.
He's talking about Joker, Lou, etc. Oh, with their fast mids. I know Spoon. I'm agreeing. They need characters that they need to give characters that level of plus pokes. Yeah. Cetrion is probably top two, and she has no mids. Same with Johnny, top five or whatever. It doesn't have any. Yeah, that's because they jail their pokes, their low pokes. Johnny's down
Well,
four is a good example.
also, I don't think that
Cetron's
Cetran
forward
is
too.
like really strong because of the jails. Cetran's really strong because of her special moves
And one's
and
OP.
because of the range of her standing one. Um, but if they didn't have that, it would like you agree that like the characters with strong mids like compete with those. But what about Baraka? Like what about Baraka that has no mids, dude? His fastest mid is 12 frames.
Yeah. Was how fast is his back three?
Back three is 13 frames.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's hit confirmable. Okay, by the way, like so that's hit confirmable. It does not have any range. Like it's a very close 13 frame low. Uh 13 frames, I don't think it's reactable, but you can always block low against Baraka, you know. You can just block low. And his main combo starter, which is 112, the optimal combo starter can be low profiled by Katana's down 3, Cetrian's down 3, Jax's down 3. Who else is it? Aaron's down everything.
Yeah. So let's catch up with the chat again. Yes, he says 1-1 OP basically mid. Cake 4-4 on. Yeah, 4-4 is 12 frames if you're talking about Baraka.
Baraka
Noob
is
barely.
12 frames. It's not hit confirmable either, by the way. It's just
All right, let
real
me let
low.
me catch up on the chat. Noob barely has mids. He has one good mid. Yeah, that's the 9 frame one, back one. But you have to remember back one slide is it does 200 damage. That's unbreakable. Which can be used for whiff punishing. Yes. Baraka has stupid damage too. Yeah, Baraka does have stupid damage. I don't know though, AJ, it's a little weird though because there were characters that had stupid damage in MKX, but they had good mids. So it's kind of a weird, I don't know, comparison because Katana had stupid damage, but she had a 10 frame mid, if I remember correctly, and she could anti-air with her fan toss. But then you had other characters that I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. Damn, I can't think of one, honestly. You had other characters that they well, Katana is actually another good example because you had some characters that were like had safe 50/50s, but then you had characters like Katana that didn't. She had a safe 50/50, but like they didn't lead to anything. Um, but I feel like Rouser MKX was literally busted, like literally busted in some area. Yeah, and that's kind of our point. Our point is that we think that like the reason like it's a little weird because MK11 is more balanced in the sense that you don't have to deal with as much BS, right? But the thing is that actually makes some characters way worse because the actual mechanics of the game itself make some characters suffer. It's like really weird. It's a really weird paradox, AJ. It's a really, really weird paradox. But if you really think about it, that's the problem. Like, just look at things like breakaways. Breakaways are a great example. Like, some breakaways affect characters different than others. Some characters don't literally have to deal with breakaway. Like Jackie, she gets a huge plus because she literally just like once you break away, you've already taken a majority of the damage. So it's like, you know, it's weird. Like the game is more balanced, but it actually makes it worse for some characters. Like it's really weird. This game is more
This game
fundamental.
is fundamental.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's true.
honestly,
That is true.
it's more neutral based than the other ones, right?
Yeah, it was busted. Yeah, yeah, it is more neutral based. It was busted until the end of the life cycle. That is true, Yetski. It was busted for quite a while. And then near the end, it got a little bit more fair. It's still kind of bullshit, to be honest with you. Um,
Yo, dude, I'd like again, like as far as like attacking the characters at the top, sure, man. But like I'm really trying to be an advocate for the characters at the bottom. Again, I just want to say and I Scarlet and Shao Kahn, and I think they have really good like they do have good tools, but man, they have those tools amongst like a million weaknesses. So could you just like patch out those weaknesses, or not even all of them, right? But like one or two of them, so they could like so Scarlet could reliably hit forward two or reliably put forward two out in the neutral, which is a really good button. Or Shao Kahn could reliably use, I don't know if you want Shao Kahn to reliably use forward three because it's such a good button that he has now that you can special cancel it. Like, but like something that you can do with Shao Kahn to make him so you don't have to like constantly mix your opponent up with forward three. Dude, like forward three unsafe, forward three stagger, which is also unsafe, forward three four, which is flawless blockable easily, and you don't even have to up to it. It's meterlessly punishable. There's a lot of things that you can do, like with Scarlet and Shao Kahn and Ops. Who do you think you would say like the bottom like third character would be? I wouldn't say Devora. I think Devora is good enough that she's not bottom three. RoboCop, maybe?
well, I mean, I was seeing Foxy do some work with RoboCop. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at the
Rio's
screen
been
right
doing some
now, and
work with RoboCop too.
I'm thinking. I heard Foxy saying that Rain was trash.
Oh, rain, yeah. I've heard, honestly, like it's kind of funny. So your solution to rain is literally down four, down two. People think I'm trolling when I say that. Like when I post that shit in the chat, I'm not fucking trolling. Like that's literally how you beat rain. Down four, like if you're playing Katana, down four is plus 20. So if they try to wave dash, do that nonsense wave dash bullshit, you down four them, you get plus 20, you get your turn back. If they jump and try to jump kick and cheese you out with that, you just down two. Like
Oh,
you literally can't do anything else because he doesn't have a good advancing mid. So
Lincoln
you
dance.
just down four,
We
down
heard it here
two,
first.
easy
We heard it here
solution.
first.
Oh, let me check. Let me catch back up on the chat. So what's up, Toby? How's it going? I see you've landed with the sloth,
Oh, where the F is Toby? Oh, got you.
and
Touchdown, baby.
and then so AJ was saying some have godlike ones. Um, Oh, sorry. Okay. So this game is more fundamental, but the characters all don't have the same freedoms as others, which is weird. Some characters have trash armor breaks, cough cough Sonya, while some have godlike ones. That is a perfect example, AJ. Katana has a square wave that, as long as you equip it with ground war, she can literally get that crushing blow if you try to break from any part of her combo. But there's other characters like Scorpion where he has to do or is it forward three at certain times of his combo. So it's
Back
like
three.
he's
It's
or back
back
three.
three. Yeah,
Yeah, back three.
Scorpion's armor breaker sucks, but honestly, armor breakers were designed before custom variations were designed. And what I would say is that after Ultimate, that could definitely benefit from some looking into. Because specifically with Baraka, like they wanted to make sure his armor break went into his like least used variation. They did that with a lot of people, uh, and so they did armor break. They they basically like did a test with it with Spawn because Spawn was the first character that could armor break in this game, and they just like went with that concept and just went full in, and they're just like, all right, here you go, and then boom, Ultimate comes out, and then every character can have every armor break as it comes out. So honestly, if this game lasts like another year, I think that like reconsidering what characters armor breaks are would definitely highly benefit the whole meta of well, not the whole meta of the game because that's fucking a dumb thing to say, but which characters are strong and which characters aren't, or which armor breaks are strong and which aren't.
Yeah. So Nexus was saying, huh. Well, Yetsuki was saying Rain can dance. um, Nexus is saying we got to worry about what's affecting the game's balancing in professional play, which is top tier characters. Yeah. So that's a cool thing, but Nexus, my one worry about that is that they've done that several times and they've completely neutered characters. That's what's kind of like Garrus, as much as I don't like his throw loops, I think Garrus is a good example of how you can kind of approach characters, like slowly nerf them over time, if you want to do nerfs at all. But the other thing too that we're also missing here, Nexus, is that you have to remember Hayate played Aaron Black for what, how many months, and then he switched to Fujin, which is a perfect example of how the tier list is still kind of deciding how people want to play MK11, which is unfortunate. Like that shouldn't be a thing. Um, Characters should just be so good that you can choose what character you like playing, like MKX. But it sucks because, again, it goes back to that's probably what made MKX most fun. Like, everyone could play their character and didn't give a shit because, like, the game was so broken that, like, all the characters were good. So it's kind of a catch 22, I think. Um, because if you really want to play a really balanced version of Mortal Kombat game, I have a strong feeling that a lot of the characters will either be very bland and boring, or they'll be over the top ridiculous like MKX. I think there is a sweet spot. I think it's very hard to find if there is one. I guess that's the best way to put it.
That's a really
Um
good way to put it, but I think that like if you're gonna put it that way, I really think that MK11 is a really good try at a sweet spot.
yeah,
Not
it
gonna
is.
lie.
It's a really
Like
good.
what I really think is I really want my girl Scarlet to have some shit, dude. I
Yeah,
want her
MK11 is
to
really
get
good,
something.
AJ. MK11 is definitely a good step in the right direction. They're almost there. I do think they made a backwards approach with removing Breaker though, but um
Yeah, dude,
they're
that's I
closer than
think
they
that's
were
a big
before.
dude, I think that's wait, Ops.
Armor
Do you
break.
think that if Breaker was like it has been in the past MK games that like people would complain a lot less? Because like if I'm like certain characters and I try to end my combo optimally, I get punished for the right breakaway timing. But like in all the other games, you just break. And no, I don't get a full combo punish for somebody else's break. Do you think that that would stop some of the bitching about this game? Oh,
It
well,
might.
excuse me. Or some of the bitching about the characters.
Well, the reason why I mentioned the breaker point, and after this we'll catch up on the chat, but the reason why I mentioned the breaker point was simply because breaker will prevent all the nonsense of you getting punished for comboing your opponent. That shouldn't. That's just. That's a. What's the right? Like that's like a taboo thing that probably should not be in fighting games. Like as much as I want to like have an open mind, that is just something.
Dude,
That's
that's
like a
what every
line that's
single
very
pro
hard
has
for me to
said. By the way,
cross.
that's what every single pro has said too. Like, bro, you shouldn't
Meters
get
should be
punished
earned.
for
Yeah,
ending your
Yetsky,
opponent.
that's also something that a lot of people don't talk about that I miss. Meters should be earned because the thing is, meter actually incentivizes you to burn it. It's kind of funny. Like the way that meter functions right now, there's no reason for you to not use your meter, honestly. Um, the other thing too, Yetsky, that I was noticing is that some characters, like Katana, and I always use Katana because I play her, but she actually benefits for like making her combos last longer. So even though the developers wanted shorter combos, she benefits from making her combos longer. What I'll do to get a bar meter faster, or well, get a bar meter while my opponent's being comboed, is I'll lift them with fan lift and I'll sit there for like you know a frame or so, so I build bar during the combo. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
let's
what I
go ahead
saw
and catch.
Foxy doing that
Yeah,
earlier on his
yeah,
stream.
that's a
He
thing I
would like
never really
walk
thought
forward
about
and block
doing.
for a half a second and then finish his combo.
Yeah, I mean you might as well. I mean it's just like when you used to whiff a special move to build meter. It's kind of the same concept.
That's interesting. To be fair, I think that NRS was experimenting with a passive meter with this move because like in interviews with Ed Boon, he said we always aim for trying something different with every game that we do. Because why would you buy the same game over and over again? He didn't say that, but like I'm thinking that like why
Well,
would you buy
people
the
buy
same game
fighting
over
games
and
all the
over again?
time. People buy fighting games all the time because of the legacy though. That's the one issue that MK has in my opinion is that it has no legacy. It actually deters me from wanting to use it as my main um approach to like playing games because like the next NRS game that I play, I'm gonna have to adapt to a completely different style of play.
Well,
So it's kind of weird.
what's the most popular fighting game? Isn't it Tekken?
Yeah, Tekken and Street Fighter, I think.
Street Fighter?
So many
Dude,
people love MK. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Street Fighter like gameplay. It does not look like a game I want to play.
So let me go all the way or let me read a lot of the chat. I'm gonna try to respond to all the comments. This has actually been a pretty productive podcast. Thank you everyone for showing up. I really enjoy having people. I think the live thing I think we're gonna do more often. Just because it just seems like it's a much better approach. I did want to quickly talk about Nexus's tournament. So Nexus will be hosting a tournament. I think this will be the last tournament on this Saturday. Definitely go check it out. It's the Power Play Tournament PC Customs. First place gets $100, so definitely worth your time, and you can come hang out with Nexus. And well, unfortunately, I won't be there, but you know, definitely hit it. What time? Nexus, you're in the chat, right? Because I don't remember the exact time. But let me go ahead and post it in the chat really quick. Okay, 2 p.m. EST. Yep, tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST. And I'll go ahead and post it in the chat for you. And yeah, so definitely check out Nexus's tournament. It'll be awesome to enter. It's free. Have fun. Even Yetsky, yeah,
Is
even
it
if you can't
PC?
enter, yeah, it's
Is it
PC.
PC?
Yep. Even if you can't enter Yetsky, definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. Nexus is a great caster. You'll have a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So let me go ahead and catch back up on the chat. Apologize again for everyone who's watching. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. You guys have been talking about a lot of good meaty stuff. So let's go all the way back up real quick from where I was at. Oh, I might have to use the. Let me use this instead. Okay, so they were talking about meter. We're talking about Garrett's.
What?
Saying how he's
Yo,
balanced.
everybody in chat, dude, I just learned some like nasty shit, dude. In between Katana or Melina's high sigh and her amplified like size, you can actually jump that shit.
Yeah, yeah,
I never knew that.
yeah. You can.
That you can block her sigh blast and like jump the amp. Oof.
So
I love watching pros play, dude.
as much as I hate Monkey Bat 11, still the best NRS game so far. Totally agree, Toby. There's a lot of stuff I don't like about Mortal Kombat 11, but it's definitely one of the best so far. Yeah, just delete Jackie in the game would be good. See, a lot of people said that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's true. Kill streak. Um, it's definitely. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see what NRS does. I don't like. I'll tell you this, kill streak. I don't like being bleeped at, and like my count, like my zoning tools as a hybrid player who zones and plays footsies. I definitely don't like getting leaped at and losing like half of my tool, like half of the purpose of what my character is supposed to be playing. I like share that frustration because that to me makes no sense. Like, why am I getting like why does this person get free pressure like and I can't zone them out? Like, I should be able to zone out people who have strong pressure. But anyway, um, I like it better than X, but it punishes more for fundamental things, so I think people should lab. Yes, AJ, the thing that I really like about this game too is definitely the fact that you can go into the lab and basically counter anything you've encountered. Like everything has a counter in this game, and MKX was not like that. Not like that at all. There was just shit you just had to hold it. Like Ermax push, I'll always use that as an example. That was safe. You just had to hold that. You can do anything about it. If you jumped at him, he had an armor. So yeah, fuck you. It was an anti-air. Um, kill streak, lol. Jay says honestly, myself included, to be honest. Yeah, same thing. Same here, AJ. I don't live as much as I should. Meters should be earned, in my opinion. Yeah, we talked about that. So my kind of a approach to that, because I think I saw earlier, Killstreak was saying you don't know about the meter returning, because you were saying how like it was terrible playing against characters like Katana and Red Hood and Injustice. I agree with that. Um, I think because there was something that was mentioned a long time ago, maybe projectiles shouldn't build you meter. So I don't know. That might be a better solution than waiting for like getting regeneration, meter regeneration, because there's characters like Melina where once you burn one bar, if they break, you only have one more chance to do high damage, until you and them gain a bar back, and then they get the wake up system back. So there's literally nothing you can do. Like Melina is tied to burning a bar for damage. So they either need to make more meterless combos or they need to force you to build meter to break. Something like that. I don't know. That's just kind of my opinion on it. I like the meter system requires resources to be safe and is how it should be. Yeah, that's true. That's something that makes the meter system good. Meter was terrible when you play. Oh yeah, you already said that. You keep the auto meter. So Toby agrees with kill streak. AJ says I don't mind the meter refill. You have to manage it. It's another sub game within self. So AJ and Toby and Killstreak they like the uh the new version of the meter system. Um, and I think with some tweaks, I could definitely get down with it too. I also don't mind you just building meter. But I would say, yeah, removing the projectile, maybe building meter would be a good solution. So Yeski says defense meter could be auto regen, so you special cancel to get offensive bar. You could do that or something. So many people love MK. Yeah. So when I was saying about the legacy, what I mean by legacy, I mean the actual core mechanics of the game. If you play MKX and play MK11, they're nothing alike. Like the combos aren't the same. You've got a run button. There's zoning is much more difficult in MKX. What else? Uh, there's armored moves, the wake up system's different, like everything is different. So that's what I mean by legacy. I'm not necessarily saying MK itself. MK itself, people will always love MK. I love MK because it's MK, you know? But I see what you mean. Yeah, Killstreak, you are right. Like if you're talking about like media legacy, MK11 definitely has the media legacy. Um, Street Fighter is hard. I've heard that. I definitely want to get into it at some point. It does look very interesting. Has reliable anti-air, so there's that. And then we were talking about the tournament, and oh, someone tried to, yeah, okay, Katana took care of that nonsense. And they're talking, okay, awesome. Op Soldier can get next. Oh my gosh, you guys are so trolly sometimes. Remove flawless block on hit. Agree with that Nexus. That should never be a thing. If you break away, the defense meter refill slower. People have talked about that, Rex. That might be a better solution, you know? Maybe, or like another one is why do we build meter in between rounds? Like, what the fuck is the point? Like, I might as well just burn a bar before the round ends. Like, if I have offense, and that's what I mean is like it encourages you to just waste your meter because, like, if the round's about to end or I'm about to die, I might as well meter burn roll. I might as well toss a fan. I might as well wake up 3. I'm gonna build half the bar back during the round or during the in between the round. So MKX much faster pace, gravity even a lot. I actually miss the gravity being more floatier. It prevents less punishes from things like breakaway and clipping people off of a string. I love MK because of monkey balls. All right, so we're caught back on the chat. I don't know if you muted yourself, Spoonman, or if you were just kind of hanging out. You still there? Oh, you disconnect? He must have disconnected. Let me go ahead and give him another call. Yeah, Toby, I always like MK11 for the same reason. Um, MK11 is just, or not MK11, sorry. I always like MK for the same reason. I think MK is just it's a balanced game for the most part. Like if you know how to counter things, you'll always get, you'll get the win. It's just there's a lot of things that are also frustrating. They're very anti-fundamental when it comes to MK. But if I become a tester, y'all don't know what I'll do with this game. I'll treat it. New players will struggle to learn it. Yeah. Buff Lou. Oh my gosh. You guys are hilarious. How to make a game die. I don't know. MK is still going strong. As much as we might not agree with some of the changes or some of the decisions in the game. Um, that's definitely. Hey, what's up, Princess Pearl? How's it going? I'm making it in a way that one poke keeps you in place. Yeah. Well, they did change that, which is good. They made moves more plus on, or pokes more plus on hit. I think that's definitely a good step in the right direction. Plus 20 pokes is a good thing, I would definitely say. Good, just finish your artwork. Okay, that's good. Flawless blocks will require more skill. So I think we disconnected from Spoonman. I'm gonna try to message him one more time. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and end the podcast. This was very, very productive. Thank you everyone who stopped by and gave us a lot of good information and insight on the game. I do like being able to take multiple perspectives and kind of uh, have more information on what I think might be more healthy for the game or what is already healthy for the game. Flawless blocks will require actual skill. I hate how some characters are faster than others. No neutral, no win. Yeah, Rex, that's something that kind of annoys me too, honestly. Um, that's what, MKX, the beauty of that game was that it had a run button. So um, even if you had like characters that moved a little bit slower with their dashes, you still had like a fast run button to get in. So it is kind of weird. Like some characters can like dash across the screen really quick with like quick block dashes, but then other characters they struggle with like just moving around in general. Like Noob is a good example of that. Even though he does have very good space control, so if you poke on block, you enter a state where your opponent is guaranteed a grab. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So you're forced to attack. The fact that Joker, Fujin, Rain, and Melina can down one backdash before Jade can poke is ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's just there's a lot of stuff that plays weird. Toby, okay, this is actually a good. This is actually a good statement to end on. So Toby was saying, I will force this game to be like Tekken. Now, here's the thing. Toby, I know you like Tekken, but I will say this right off the bat. I have never played Tekken. I have no desire for this game to be like Tekken. Now, with that said, Tekken might have better fundamentals than Mortal Kombat. And the reason I'm saying this is because I think sometimes because you have to remember like each fighting game, like fighting games they're going to have core things in them that make them a fighting game, right? Like plus frames, frame data, footsies, stuff like that, right? But then there's going to be other components of fighting games that aren't necessarily the same as others. Like a good example is like if I remember correctly, um, Dragon Ball Z has more aerials, or like it's almost impossible to like Oki in Dragon Ball Z. I don't know. I have never played it, but I've heard things like that. Um, so when I look at a game like MK11, maybe MK11 was not meant like maybe MK11 was meant to have no Oki. Like maybe MK11 was meant to allow you to jump a lot. Like maybe jumping is just part of the metagame in MK11. Like I don't like it, um, but maybe that's how the game was supposed to be played. So like when we say things like, "Oh, well, this game, like in Street Fighter, you can always anti-air," or in whatever other game, you can always anti-air, on whatever other game, there's footsies and stuff like that. Um, maybe like this game wasn't meant to be that way. Now, trust me, I hate it personally. Me as a player, I hate that shit. Like, I hate not being able to down to anti-air you consistently. But I've kind of accepted that maybe that's just not how this game's supposed to play. I don't know. I don't know what the developers are ultimately thinking, which is kind of the big issue. I would say. Boone always considered MK to be a fighter for casuals. Yeah. So that wouldn't surprise me. Like maybe like these are just things that the developers wanted the game to play like this. That's a good point that you make, holiday. Holiday. I'll just call you holiday. But yeah, so that's actually a good thing to end this podcast on because I agree with you there. Or sorry, I don't necessarily agree, but the statement is, um, as much as I like this game to be like Street Fighter with the anti-airs being consistent, and as much as Toby would like this game to be like Tekken with, you not being able to mash out pokes, like maybe that's how this game is supposed to play, which is unfortunate, but that just might be the case. Which I would say we'll just see. We'll see what happens. We can kind of give our points and say, okay, well, I want Breaker in the game, or I want Cetrion to have her rock wall uh, nerfed or whatever. But ultimately, developers decide and they listen to what we have to say and they make the final decision. So, but with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and end the podcast. I'm gonna post Nexus's tournament again one more time in the chat. Definitely check out Nexus's last tournament. He's a great caster. I enjoy, just watching even when I'm not playing. I won't be entering, but definitely check it out. It'll be at 2 p.m. EST tomorrow. Enter, it's free, $100 for first place. So definitely check it out. And thank you everyone who stopped by. I had a lot of fun. Me and Spoonman got to get a lot of meaty information. So definitely check them out. And you guys have a good New Year's. I will see you on. Well, I'm supposed to be streaming today, but I'll probably not stream for too long. But I'll see you guys on Monday at 9 p.m. EST on my normal stream time. So thank you everyone who stopped by. You guys have a good night.